Oh, yes, for sure. Look, the country is destroyed in many senses. We already lost, cities. Cities are destroyed. For example, city of Mariupol, destroyed by 95%. So almost nothing left out of that city. Kharkov is the largest city in Ukraine, or one of the largest cities in Ukraine, destroyed also. Look, we already lost several $100 billion in our assets, and we are talking about the economy where GDP last year was a historical maximum of $200 billion. So we are talking now about, at least 2 times more in destroyed assets. So definitely, I'm not even talking about, civilians who were killed. I'm not talking about, children who were killed. I'm not talking about women who were raped by Russian soldiers. Yes, of course, the economy has to be rebuilt. And of course, it's a question where we are going to have this money for rebuilding the Ukrainian economy. This kind of Marshall Plan, which should be applicable for Ukraine. In our view in Kiev, we do believe that we can use money which were frozen from the Central Bank of Russia. And we are talking here about somewhere close to $300 billion which are frozen. We also believe that another source of this fund should be all arrested property of Russian oligarchs and inner cycle of Putin. So also money should be coming to this fund, and of course, international support should also go to this fund. What should be done in Ukraine? We need to rebuild infrastructure, which is totally destroyed now, almost all over the city because of the Russian bombing, air bombing attacks, which we experience, hundreds times a day. For example, in the city of Kharkov today, Russians were bombing the city almost 100 times. One city, almost 100 times, where experienced bombing from the Russian planes and from the Russian army. So the sirens are all over the country, and we are talking about the countries of the size of France. So the sirens of air attacks is coming, alarming all our population. It's coming in all regions of Ukraine. So
Oleg,
basically, you can understand the damage we have in the country.
huge damage in the country. I mean, you're totting it up there to $300 billion that you think should be paid by oligarchs' frozen assets, their portfolios, and of course some foreign aid as well. I mean, it's really hard to even begin to work out the economic cost on top of the human cost you mentioned. But I also want to talk to you about this potential food security crisis that might be looming. After all, the price of wheat shot up immediately after a Russia attack, and now Ukraine's struggling to get its wheat out. So how has the Russian invasion created that food security crisis, not just in Ukraine, but beyond?
Yes, absolutely. It's a very good question. Look, Ukraine is an important player on the international market, on the international food market. We are among top 5 producers of wheat. We are controlling 50% of sunflower oil. Internationally, we are supplying somewhere around 15% of different types of grain to international market. Obviously, for us, it's extremely important in terms of our own security. But yes, you're absolutely right. It's extremely important for the world, for the international community, because our soaring campaign usually starts during the first week of March and should be ended during the 3rd week of April. This is a must. Yes, we can move a little bit, but not more than 1 week. So basically, based on this, it's really necessary to stop the war as soon as possible. Even if you think only in terms of international food security. However, you can observe already negative consequences on the international market. Prices for agro commodities went up very rapidly, and I assume that if the war is not stopped, then this process will continue. In terms of the global security, also please understand that in consumer baskets in different countries, the share of food products are different. For example, in our case in Ukraine, it's around 40%, but in Poland it's 33%. In France, it's around 10%, but you can easily find countries where this share is almost 90%, meaning that we have to deal internationally with these really coming new challenges, food crisis. Prices are going to increase dramatically, and it's very obvious now. What we can do, we can just try to stop further increase. And this stop a further increase, meaning to have peace in Ukraine. To stop
Oleg Ustenko, economic advisor to President Zelensky, thank you very much.